Okay, so, hey y'all.
Hi. Hey.
We are back for a quickie.
I love a quickie.
This is.
I mean, do you?
There's those are. I mean, that's the only type I like.
Okay, just making sure.
Quickies. Like,
Just making sure.
tell me, like, give me the meat and potatoes. Let's go.
Okay, just give me the meat.
Or. Even better. I need some papas every once in a while, so I'll take some meat and potatoes.
Okay, all right.
Caroline wants the sausage.
Yeah, give me some of that sausage.
Well, I'm gonna give you a whole lot of sausage today.
Okay,
well, actually,
give it to me.
It's a little bitty sausage.
Oh,
yeah. So,
I'm not opposed.
So it's Thirsty Thursday, and me and Caroline are in the studio. You hear the little bit of ice. So every once in a while you hear some crunching of some ice, and that's just our sound effect. So just
we love to provide that for you.
Yeah. Anything good happening?
Let's see. I feel like I'm about to go dog sit at somebody's house this weekend / house sit. But you know, when it's a really nice house and I get to just lay by the pool all weekend, I am okay with it.
Okay.
I have like 18 jobs.
Oh.
So I'm so rich.
Yeah. Real rich. Real rich.
I'm a rich bitch.
Well, you know, my kid's about to come home from college.
Oh.
And I'm semi-excited. I love my kid. I'm so excited about him coming home. But he hasn't been there consistently in like a year. So he's lived the good life of a college student to where, I mean, we're probably going to be arguing a whole lot. So I'm having to pray about it.
I'll pray about it too.
And he was just like, Mama, I'm coming. So get ready. Because I'm about to rock your world.
Oh. So does he have like a girlfriend or like what's his situation?
Oh, he don't believe in him.
Oh.
No. So there's that. But that's my baby. I love him. Trenave. I've made him. I was like, Trenton, I think you're real famous, so you should share all of our Twitters and all of our Instagrams.
Oh, for sure.
And you know what he told me? He was like, when I see some money behind some BHH, and then he called it BHH. When I see some BHH money, I might share bloody happy hour. Y'all, this quickie is about, I went all the way to Japan.
Oh. Mm-hmm. You went
I
traveling.
Skipped over all the states in the United
continents and
went straight to Japan.
Okay.
And
I've never been
let
there.
me tell you, this is legit horrible.
I can't wait.
Horrible?
I mean, okay.
Horrible.
Yep.
So, take a shot. At home, take a shot because this man is a kid killer. His name is Tsutomu Miyazaki.
I'm putting on my sunglasses.
Caroline put on her sunglasses.
Yep.
Tsutomu. And guess what? I'm going to butcher his damn name, but he does not deserve respect on his name at all. He does not deserve the respect.
No.
So let me tell you a little bit of bio about Tsutomu because I feel like you got to know where they started to see where they ended.
Okay.
So he was born a premature kid in Tokyo in August of 1962. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And he only weighed 4 pounds. How many?
4?
4 pounds. He was premature.
Oh, dang.
And he had a deformity when he was born. Oh my God, Caroline! I posted the photo on whatever it's called, Instagram, Facebook.
You did? Of this guy? Of Tsutomu Tsuki?
I mean, yeah. When we
did I say his name?
Yeah, I posted it.
Oh yeah,
in the future.
I forgot.
In the future, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And his hands look like Slender Man's hands.
Oh, not
like,
Slender Man.
They are like 10
not
inches
good.
long. His joints were fused together. And
was there like incest happening or like what? Why was he just?
Guess what?
What? There was.
He was a child of incest. Oh my goodness.
Well, I screamed so loud like I saw a scary person, but I just got excited.
And you even got your cheerleader hands up.
I know. I'm so white.
his daddy was his daddy.
His daddy was his
daddy got his, what would be his older sister pregnant. So then...
His daughter? His dad?
His daddy screwed his daughter, got her pregnant, and then Tsutomu was born. So his mama was also his sister. So he starts off pretty shitty, right?
Well,
but this ain't his fault. Yeah. So it's sister mama.
Sister mom.
He is a child of what's it called again? Incest. And he had that deformity, right? But there's also another deformity that kids that he went to high school with and was in PE and showered in the locker room with said that he had. But there's no pictures of this. There's pictures of the shitty hands.
Weedle deedle?
He had
a
literally a pencil dick.
Oh!
So there were reports that the size was the girth of a pencil and the length was no bigger than a toothpick.
So it was kind of like a vagina.
I don't.
It could have been like half and half.
My vagina does not look like that. Of course, he was ashamed of himself, right? You got these deformities, and even if nobody else sees this, what's under your pants, you see it every single day. So, he was ashamed of himself, and his family was ashamed of him, and probably like his dad had no relationship with him.
I would have been ashamed of him too.
Probably because he knew like how he came about. So, his teachers remembered him as a loner, and he basically made it impossible for him to form a relationship, and he was often bullied pretty bad. So you almost feel bad. Like he didn't ask to, for his mama to be his sister or sister to be his mama and his daddy to be his daddy and his daddy like twice. And so his dad, like many Japanese men back then, was very popular in the community, and he owned this newspaper business, so he was pretty successful, but a workaholic, so was never there. So he's always at home with his sister mama and his other sisters, and they did not like him. But he had one relationship in life that was genuine, and that was his pawpaw.
Okay.
And so Pawpaw showed him good, genuine love. And
well, that's good because
you gotta have a little bit of something somewhere.
He's obviously not set up for success.
Let me tell you how I found out about
this. Let me tell you that every time I research these murderers or serial killers, they're like, oh, we found evidence. Oh, we found all these serial killer books. Oh, yeah, we found all these books. And then I'm like, April has all these books.
Got them all.
So she's a murderer. Okay, bye.
Let me tell you where I got this book. So my mom got me this book, okay? And I was like, Mom, I've never seen this book. I love it. So it's called The 10 Worst Serial Killers, Monsters Whose Crimes Shocked the World. If you open it up, it says TDJC approved. Texas Department of Criminal Justice approved. So no, my mom is not an inmate.
Even though she named all your brothers after her.
I mean, yes. So she is a little sus. So I have this amazing book by Victor McQueen, and it's TDJC approved.
And
so
you want to post that one on Instagram too?
Oh, we sure will.
Okay, next to Tiramisu Masaki.
Tiramisu. So Tiramisu, actually, back to the story, okay?
Okay.
One time in his whole life, he made his mom and dad, his family, a little bit proud for like 5 seconds.
Okay.
He was in junior high,
I've done that before.
He was entered high school early because he was real smart. So he didn't have any like intellectual disabilities. He basically skipped a grade and got to go to high school real early. And his family was really proud because this high school that he went to, those kids usually go to these prestigious universities. Mm-hmm. So, education's real important there, okay, in Japan. So he started going to the school and he had to commute there, but he just really wasn't into it. You know what he was into?
Trying to figure out why he had such a small penis.
Comic books and Japanese anime.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
Yeah, I was good. That was my second guess.
Oh, that was your second one?
Yeah, that was my second guess.
Well, anime. And so he like dove into it. He had no friends, right? So he spent all his time in these comics, in this anime.
Mm-hmm.
He went from being top 10% to 40 out of 56. So basically, he was a real winner and did not go to a big university. He went to a junior college, which in Japan, and according to his parents, is good reason to ignore your kid.
Oh, no.
So if he was not alienated before, he definitely was now.
Yep.
So he's at JUCO. And he is basically a victim, and he hates everything. Like, he has no friends still in college. No, like, there's not one documented friend. And he became a perv times 10 when he got his photography technician certification.
He was going to the malls, and he was like, hey, girl, I'm going to take a picture. You want to be a model? Because that's what they do.
That's what Jeffrey Dahmer did.
Uh-huh.
Well, he went to gay bars. But no, he was even lower than that. He just took random pics of girls' crotches.
Oh, well, I was going to say, that's what I would do.
Yep, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and then he would, like, make dirty comments all the time, kind of like we do. But we're not gross.
Yeah,
so
no, we're normal.
People
we're so
hated
normal.
his comments.
Oh, people love ours.
So his life was so shitty that he contemplated suicide, which none of this is still his fault. So I'm talking real shitty about him, and he's basically still a kid that was dealt some bad cards.
Okay,
but he didn't commit suicide, which if he did, he would have done the world a big favor. But he didn't.
Mm-mm.
And so he just dove even further into these comics.
Yeah.
Paw, who is his only love in the life, right? The only person in the world that showed him any love, died in May of 1988. And at this time, Tiramisu, or Tsutomu,
I'm a competitor,
was 25 years old. And he missed his grandpa. Like, everybody misses their grandpa or grandma when they die, right?
Yeah.
But he missed them to a point to where he wanted grandpa to be reincarnated.
Okay.
And he was Buddhist. So I think that religion, like, allows for that. Like, it can happen, like, when you believe in that religion. Or they think it can happen. So guess what he thought was going to bring his dad back to life? Guess what he did?
Tell me.
He ate his dad's ashes.
Oh, I was going to guess that.
I mean, that's probably what I would have done.
I did that, actually.
Okay. Well, he ate his dad's ashes, and he ate little by little, and he just knew that when he ate all of the ashes. I love to
eat ashes. That sounds so good.
There was a show
How
about
would you eat it if you did it? Would you mix it in your drink?
I would have to just, like, put it on my tongue and like, take a shot.
No,
like,
you would choke. You'd be like you would choke. It would, like, clog. So you'd have to mix it up.
Yeah, and mix it with my alcohol.
Yeah, you couldn't just, like, pour ashes. It's like when you take that B12 BC powder.
Oh, yeah.
When you have a real bad hangover and you got to take that BC powder and you're like.
Oh, well.
That's exactly how it
I actually.
Do you want me to do that one more time?
Thank you for the sound effects.
You're welcome.
That's probably how he sounded when he ate all of his dad's ashes. And then, I mean, not his dad, his grandpa, and then his dad was not reincarnated. So he was a little pissed about that.
I'd be pissed.
So instead of working on having his grandpa reincarnated, he had a birthday, turned 26, and picked up a little girl. But by this time, he was into this anime called Lolicon.
Oh.
So Lolicon is basically these cartoons, but about girls that are prepubescent.
Pubescent.
Yes. So basically little girl child porn.
Oh, no.
Anime, comic, cartoon type shit. This was totally legal in Japan. You could possess it. You could film it. You could do all this stuff. So it was not normal, but normal. Like, it's not normal. So if he wasn't reading the comics or watching the shit, he was drawing them with his nasty ass hands. I don't even know how you could hold a pencil. So
with his ding dong dick.
In August of 1988, he turned 26, and on his way home in his shitty Nissan Langley, never even heard of that type of car.
Langley, get out of here, Langley.
He saw a little
Can
girl.
we call him Dangly Langley?
Dangly Langley. There we go. Dangly Langley offered a ride to this 4-year-old girl named Mary Kono.
Don't name her good Mary.
Or Mari. I know that was your first victim.
Yep, it was. My mom's name's Mary.
Uh-oh.
But we call her Mosey, so it's fine. Like Mary Rose Mosey.
Well, he went up to this little girl and he told her, wouldn't you like to go someplace cool? And so she's 4 years old and she's at the park by herself. I know.
I can't even.
But listen, before you judge, there was literally no crime in Japan, in Tokyo back then.
Okay, but how's a 4-year-old going to go to the park by themselves?
I don't even, I'm just like.
Oh, hey, bye. Go ahead. Go across the street. Go over there to the park and go swing.
1,400 rocks.
Yeah.
Like, or get hit by a car.
You're 4.
But this is normal because you'll see.
Go to the splash pad. Okay, you're 4.
But maybe because they're Japanese, they're really like 12-year-olds because they're so smart.
Oh, that's true.
Maybe. I don't know.
Hi, I'm Hank. You might remember me from a show called King of the Hill. Check out a King of the Hill rewatch podcast. These boys ain't right, but they are funny. Find the podcast anywhere you get your podcasts or at roguemedianetwork.com. I tell you what.
So
I'm offended.
She agreed to go to someplace cool with him, and she grabbed his nasty hands. I need you to Google what his hands look like again, so you can be staring at
I don't
them.
know how to spell tiramisu shishaki. I'm just kidding. I already found it. It's fine.
So they drove almost an hour away to this popular park and hiking and biking trail. I'm picturing Cameron Park trails. So they basically drove to the Cameron Park of Tokyo.
For sure.
And he got out and he walked the little girl and they went down this trail and to the secluded place. And there is when he wrapped those Slender Man hands around her neck, strangling her. Then he sexually assaults her lifeless body.
Oh.
The whole time he's taking pictures. Before, during, after.
April, those look like my hands.
No.
I'm tall and lanky.
Before, during, and after, he has taken pictures of this whole thing.
Oh.
And then he leaves her body in the woods and balls up her clothes and leaves. So he is a pedophile, a murderer, and a necrophiliac. Can you get any lower?
No.
He does. So
no.
Wait for it. So about the time, literally, that he's killing her, about the time of death, her father noticed she's missing. So this is an hour or more later, right? He calls the police and files a report, but this does not happen in Japan. Like, there's no crime. There's never any missing kids.
Really?
It just doesn't happen. So they don't know what to do. Like, there's no protocol for missing kids. There's not like an Amber Alert. There's like nothing. This is 1988, so Amber Alert wasn't born then. But so what they did is they made 50,000 posters of her missing child, and they posted them all over Japan. It was massive. And of course, it was all over the news because shit like this did not happen. Okay?
Oh, my.
Mari's mom went public about her missing daughter, and she was asking for help to bring her daughter home. And guess who saw the mom?
Who?
Tiramisu. He was watching the news, and the next day he put a postcard in the mail and said, in all caps, there are devils about. He's not from Canada. He's from Japan. There are devils about.
There are devils wearing boots.
Her body was not found, and by September, the case was at a standstill. Like, they had nothing to go on, okay?
Oh, okay.
So this just made Tiramisu really on top of the world, and he was thirsty and he was hungry. So by October 3rd, he found another little girl. She was 7, and her name was Masami Yoshizawa.
Oh,
Thank you.
Masami,
I used to live in Japan.
You did so good. Are you Japanese?
I am probably half.
Okay.
So he too lured her into the car, and she met the same fate as Mari. Only 100 yards away from where Mari was dumped, he strangled Masami, obsessively took photos of her and his crime scene, and he has sexually assaulted her body. Post-mortem. Necrophiliac.
Hell. Well, you keep doing all these people with necrophiliac.
I might be obsessed with it.
Oh, well, it is.
So he fled the scene because she got some muscle spasms and her body started to twitch.
Oh,
he later tells us. So he took off. Don't laugh at that.
Well, no, I mean, if you're
it's
like
scary, yeah.
If I like saw a dead body and then it started like twitching,
yeah,
that would creep me out.
So, what did the police do? They stepped up their game a little bit. They put out the 50,000 posters again on Now Masami, and now they went to house, started knocking on doors and handing posters and then asking, do you know anything about this? So basically they weren't experienced, right? And the one bad thing about having a low crime rate is like your police don't know what to do when there is an actual crime. They knew that these incidents were linked, right? But they had no evidence, no suspects, and literally nothing to investigate. And so all they had was 2 missing sweet baby girls. So December, he took a longer break this time. So he has like a little dormant period, but not too long. We'll find out in a minute why he has these periods. So on the 3rd murder, this was December. So he started in August, had an October, now it's December. He saw 4-year-old Erica Namba, and he wasted no time with her. Like, he didn't even try to convince her. He just basically snatched her up, threw her in the car, and he started to make her strip while he took pictures.
She don't even know what that is. Oh, geez.
He eventually strangled and assaulted her and wrapped her body in a tiny sheet and placed her in his trunk of the car. Then later dumped her and her clothes in the woods, right? But this dumbass got his shitty Nissan Langley stuck in the woods. Like, it was like stuck in a ditch. And some guys saw him and they pulled over. And they pull over to help him. Okay? And they pushed him out of whatever he was stuck in, and he drove off. Like, he didn't say thank you. He didn't say anything. So they were just like, oh, he's an ass. And they just went about their business, right? But the next day, this nature facility worker finds Erica's clothes. And she calls the police because there's a trillion posters posted up, right? And so the police come and they find Erica's body way far away from where the clothes are found. And when that hit the news, the men that helped Tiramisu get out, they called the police and they said, we were there. We were in this exact spot and we helped a guy. His car was stuck. Let me tell you.
Oh.
Tsutomu could have been caught right here had these men paid better attention. So instead of telling them they helped a guy who drives a Nissan Langley out, they said they helped a guy that drives a Toyota Corolla out.
No.
That is the most common car in Japan at this time. And so then the police spend time and hours and hours, and these men are going through photos and owners of about 6,000 Toyota Corolla owners. He drives a Nissan. So everybody's idiot.
Yep.
Literally.
They done did it.
They're supposed to be way smarter than this.
Well, they're not used to it, I guess, and they're not used to... Well, I mean, they have murderers, right?
So, yeah, they're not used to it. They're not on the head swivel like we are all the time. I'm looking at license plates of everybody's car. I got everybody's memorized.
You got everybody's. She's always searching.
Always looking for a criminal. So, instead of him going to jail at this time, he just gets to continue to live his horrible life, pathetic life. So he gets bored, and he's not kidnapping anybody right now. He is making contact with the family of the kids that he kidnaps.
What?
So the families begin to get these mysterious phone calls.
So he knows what he's doing. Like, he's not just like...
He ain't crazy.
Oh,
he is not crazy.
Incest
so he would call them. They would pick up the phone, but he wouldn't speak.
Mm-hmm.
And then if they didn't pick up the phone, he would let the phone ring for up to 20 minutes straight. So he was torturing them, but he didn't stop at the phone calls. So Erica, the 4-year-old, her father received postcards every week like clockwork. And the postcard said, Erica, cold, cough, throat, breast, death.
She's 4 years old.
Erica, period, cold, period, cough, period, throat, period, death, period.
No.
Every week.
Wow.
But that wasn't even the worst of it. For Mary's father, he was going to work one day, and on the front porch there was a box. And so it turns out that Tsutomu Tiramisu, whatever his name is, would go back and visit his crime scene. So it's very common, right?
Yeah,
very common. But on one of his visits, he cuts off the hands and feet of sweet little Mary, and he kept them as souvenirs and burned the rest of her body. So in that box that's on Mary's daddy's porch are her ashes, 10 of her baby teeth, and pictures of the clothing that she wore that day.
Oh, what?
So her mom and dad were, of course, devastated. And they called the police immediately. And the police come out and they take the stuff to this dental, quote-unquote, expert that works at a local university. And the dental expert checks it out and then did a press conference and says the teeth do not belong to Mary.
Oh,
so,
shit.
Like any hopeful parent, they are happy. And then so they go into the press conference and they're expressing this hope for their child to be alive and help and all this stuff, right? Well, Tsutomu's not doing shit else but reading comics and watching this. So he immediately starts writing this 3-page letter called Crime Confession.
Oh, my.
And he detailed and confessed to killing Mary and all the other girls, right? So there's 3 total. And he said he did not want the mom to have false hope. And that's why he's writing this letter.
Oh,
like, he don't want the mom to think that she's alive when he knows he killed her.
Yeah.
He signs the letter Yoku Amada, which means, now I have the courage and now I will tell.
Oh, that's so nice of him.
So then guess what this bullshit ass dental expert does?
Oh, Lord, I don't even know.
He reneges and he says, just joking.
It really is.
It is. This is Mary.
Oh,
Sorry.
shit.
I looked at the wrong teeth. Like, I don't even know. I don't even know. So the good thing is, or you would think, the police now have all these things to investigate. They have a box. They have pictures. They have teeth. They have ashes. They have a letter with handwriting.
Yeah. I mean,
So,
they got
plenty
of
So
evidence.
they pretend like they're police for a little bit, and they pull in a handwriting expert that yields nothing. And then they look at the type of camera who takes these pictures, and they said, oh, this isn't just like your Kodak. Caroline's too young to know what Kodak is.
I bet ya.
And they said, this is a professional camera. This box is a special box. this is printed at a certain print shop, right? What would you do if you were a police? Would you go investigate all those things and maybe try to figure out who has this type of camera in the area?
I mean, I would think, yeah.
Oh, well,
no, not in Japan.
You know what they did? They
went to sleep, took a nap,
made copies of the 3-page confession letters and went door to door again. I mean, because that worked before, right?
Yeah, sure did.
So now they're showing people this letter and just basically saying, do you recognize this handwriting of this creepy hand criminal? So that went nowhere.
I wouldn't recognize your handwriting. I mean, like, let's be honest.
Who? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mari's parents had to bury, they at least had something to bury. So they had a little bit of closure and they buried her ashes and her teeth. And they went on the news and pleaded for the killer to bring back her hands and feet. Because I guess Buddhists, the reason was so she can walk and eat in heaven. So I guess if you, in the Buddhist religion, how you die is how you are in the afterlife.
Oh.
And so they're thinking maybe she gets to go to the afterlife now, but she can't eat because she don't have any hands and she can't walk. She don't have any feet. So this just made Tsutomu write some damn letters to them. Okay.
Oh, no.
And so then he gets bored with torturing them. So he gets more victims. So by June, he skips work and he finds a girl and he persuades her to take off her underwear while he took pictures. But a neighbor came and saw him and chased his ass down. But he got away.
Oh!
In the woods. And he got away.
Probably using those hands like bear crawl and stuff.
Yeah. Only to come back and he abducts a 5-year-old girl named Ayako Nemoto. So he strangled her, wraps her in the sheet. This is when he hits a all-time low. He puts her in his car and drives her back to his apartment where he got out his video camera this time.
Oh my
So
gosh.
instead of taking pictures, he's videoing himself sexually abusing this little girl. And over the next 2 days, he keeps her body there and abuses her. Then he hacks off her hands and her feet and her head.
Oh!
He later says so that they couldn't identify her. He dumps the torso in a restroom, like behind a restroom in the cemetery. And he went back to his house to roast the hands and the feet, and he ate part of her flesh.
Oh, hell. I should have known you were going to go there with these
I
things.
mean,
yeah.
You can't, that's why he's in this top 10.
Yeah.
Like, literally.
Yeah, that ain't good. Mm-mm.
He is now not just a murdering cunt, necrophiliac pedophile. He is
Did
also
you say cunt?
He is also a cannibal. Special place for him.
Yeah, he burning.
And I don't know if Buddhists believe in this special place, but we do.
We do, so we're gonna put him there.
So when he got back home, he starts like hiding the evidence. Like he burns the sheet. He hid the remains that he had there, so the rest of the hands and the feet and the head around his house. And police find the torso and later identify that it's Ayako by the contents in her stomach. So they asked the parents what was her last meal, basically, and you can identify the contents.
Whataburger.
It was probably not Whataburger.
No.
So, he feels on top of the world. He's relentless and he's hungry. And by the end of July, he found 2 this time. So he thinks he hits the jackpot. 2 little sisters. And he makes one start stripping, but the other one gets away and she goes and gets Daddy. Hello, Daddy. Yes. Daddy comes and finds Tiramisu and the little girl, and he whoops Tsutomu's ass. But he is an athlete in some way because he gets away again. And instead of the dad chasing him down, like he's helping his little girl who is half naked and is traumatized, right?
Oh, man.
Calls the police, and the police come, and they got like barricades around the parking lot. They got the car surrounded, but they're not really doing nothing else. And then somebody starts walking up from the woods. It's Tsutomu.
Tiramisu coming out from the woods.
He wanted his car.
Oh, I'm sure he did.
So they arrested him and he got put in jail. So cops again did not even have to do any work.
Oh,
he just walked in. So that kind of made me think that he wanted to get caught because you literally could have got away. So he wanted to get caught. Or he knew he was going to get caught anyways because they had his car. So when they got him and they arrested him and they went to his house where he had 5,763 videos of child porn, that lolicon anime, and 500 of those videos were of his sisters, naked sisters, throughout their life. Like he was born nasty. Just nasty. The rest were just random child porn videos and videos of him screwing dead corpses and of the little girls that he abducted. And then like there's like hundreds of like comic books and stuff like that. So that's when he was coined the Otaku Killer. And in Japan, that's just basically like the nerdy losers of life. Like they don't do anything with their life. They sit at home. They engage in things that like not the normal population would. And his is like anime and child porn. So Otaku Killer, right? In jail, he confessed to everything. Like he did not hold back. Very detailed. And he just kept asking about his comics and his car. That's all he was worried about. No. Where's my car? Where's my comics? Mm-hmm. So his family, remember he has a family, just like every murderer does. They fled the country and they disowned him and, of course, refused to pay for a lawyer like they should. And later on, his dad has guilt and just admitted that he should have paid attention to his sons early.
You probably shouldn't have had sex with your sister.
I mean, start off there. Don't screw your daughter. And then if your kid is taking pictures of the sister, don't ignore it. Or videos.
Could be the first sign.
So he said that he ignored a lot of antisocial behavior when he was younger. And he did a public apology. And
thanks. We appreciate that.
Everything's fixed, right?
Sorry, bye.
After this public apology, he threw himself off a bridge into the river.
Probably should have.
In 1994. And when they
that's recent. Like, this is... Okay.
So he had been in jail for a while, right? So when they told Tsutomu that his dad did that, he goes, I feel refreshed.
Oh.
So he had a lot of hatred towards his dad, which he probably should. You can't get mad at him for that. His dad, basically ignored him.
Well, I'm kind of mad at him for his whole everything.
So he's in prison and he sits there while the system basically argues, is he competent enough to stand trial? Because the question is this guy crazy? Or is he mentally insane or is he not? So basically they have three options. They can say he's not responsible and he's insane and he goes to a mental institution. They can give him 12 to 15 years in prison. It's not enough. Or he can get the death penalty. And guess what he got?
Death.
Yes. Death. He was sentenced to death.
Fired.
They did hanging still in Japan in 1997. He had no remorse for his killings. And he was actually just fine in his comic books in his cell for all these years. When they asked about the killings, he said that he thought he was doing a good deed because these girls were playing in the park by themselves, and he thought they were lonely.
Get out.
So,
get out of here.
He's a lonely person, and he thought he was helping them. No. Bye. Thank you.
I'm done with you.
So he, on June 17th, they came in and they gave him his last meal. And in Japan, that's tea and this little dessert and a cigarette, I think is what it was. I don't remember. Or a cigar or something. And a prison chaplain. And he refused the prison chaplain. So this is maybe the time that you could probably make things right. But he chose not to.
He ain't gonna do that.
So he was walked into the execution room where there was a big Buddhist statue there and a rope waiting for his ass.
Yeah.
So there's 2 rooms. There's the execution room, and the room next door, there's these buttons, right? And there's 3 different people, and everybody pushes the button at the same time so that you don't have on your conscience that you actually killed. Nobody knows which button actually opens the door.
Oh, wow.
So everybody pushes at the same time. The trap door opens up, and he was hung, and his neck was snapped on sight. Damn. There's a prison doctor on the ladder, and he has his stethoscope and declared him dead. And so at 45, so this started when he was 26. He killed for only 1 year. So he was on trial and death row the rest of that time.
What?
So at 8:45, he gone.
Deuces.
Yeah.
Wow.
With no remorse at the end.
No.
And what's crazy, he became Japan serial killer famous. He's had copycat killers since then. He has had, when he was in jail, he had these women like throwing themselves at him.
Yeah.
But I can't understand that. Like Ted Bundy, like he was good looking, like he was smart. Like I cannot.
People just get like,
but not for
wrapped
this.
around.
I mean, we're a little obsessed, right? I haven't written any letters, but if I wrote a letter,
I've literally never even thought about like, oh, I want to contact a murderer. Like,
I would contact Ed Kemper in a second, but not because I think he looks good, because I think he's brilliant. But no way would I want to.
Yeah.
No way would I want to.
And he's 6'9", and he's so tall. He's giant.
So there is Tiramisu Miyazaki,
wow,
better known as Tsutomu, or the Otaku Killer.
Okay, well,
that was a quickie. Or it's supposed to be a quickie. It will eventually be a quickie. Tune in next week.
Yep.
Caroline's turn again.
Here we
don't know
go.
what she has.
Don't know.
But you'll probably love it. And go find us.
Yeah, follow us, subscribe to us, and rate us.
5.
And
only 5. There's only one number that exists, and that is a 5. And there's a star behind it.
And we're at Instagram at Bloody Happy Hour, and we're at Twitter at Bloody Happy Hour, and we're on Facebook at Bloody Happy Hour Podcast. And if you have any awesome stories, guess what? You need to email us at bloodyhappyhour@gmail.com, because why would you not?
Why would you not?
Don't you want to hear your own stories? Because we want to read them and tell them.
See y'all next time.
DTF. I mean, be down to find the murderer.
And there you go. There you go. Peace out, y'all. Later.
Bye.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.
Pros and heroes. Gonna tell you about pros and heroes. Gonna tell you about.
Hey, I'm Zach.
And I'm Mike.
And we have a fantastic new podcast to tell you about. Bros, Foes, and Heroes. It's the two of us looking into the world of comics, breaking down some characters that you may have never heard of, and some that are just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, so Zach comes up with a character each time, and I go into it just completely blind. I don't know who this person is or what their abilities are or anything, and basically I guess we kind of go over their origin story and just some of the ridiculous stuff that maybe, especially Golden Age stuff.
Oh, Golden Age stuff is always the best, and we will make sure to highlight all of the shenanigans and just absolute weirdness of everything.
Yeah, that's right. So subscribe today and follow us on Instagram at Bros, Foes, Heroes.
And if you don't, I know where you live. Not really, but please subscribe.
Pros and heroes. Gonna tell you about pros and heroes. Gonna tell you about.
Hi, I'm Hank. You might remember me from a show called King of the Hill. Check out a King of the Hill rewatch podcast. These boys ain't rap, but they are funny. Find the podcast anywhere you get your podcasts or at roguemedianetwork.com. I tell you what.